Welcome back. Now, with Namibia preparing for the upcoming Alliance for Financial Inclusion Forum, we explore the importance of financial inclusion, the barriers that remains, and the potential of international collaboration and public-private partnership. Today, we are joined by Sesilia Nekwaya Okafo, Principal Economist for Financial Sector Development at the Bank of Namibia. Sesilia, good evening and welcome to Daily Roundup.
Thank you so much.
All right. Just to start off, maybe you can just tell us and make us understand what Alliance Financial Inclusion means.
Right. So the Alliance for Financial Inclusion is a global network of policymakers, regulators, specifically from developing countries, emerging economies. They particularly work on advancing financial inclusion or solving financial inclusion problems at their country level. So it's mainly a platform that creates spaces for countries such as Namibia to share their experience in financial inclusion, but also to learn from other countries in terms of what they are doing and really craft and develop targeted policies to enhance access to finance for your usually and typically underserved communities, right? So these are your youth, your women, your MSMEs, your smallholder farmer, and very importantly, your informal workers.
And just what are the most pressing barriers to financial inclusion in Namibia today, and how can international collaboration help address them?
Thank you very much for that question, Salma. So when it comes to Namibia, our challenges can be categorized in three sections, right? So we have challenges on access to finance, that's both for individuals and MSMEs. And our latest financial inclusion survey indicates that about 78% of Namibians have access to a formal financial account or service, right? And here we are looking at typically bank accounts, we are looking at informal, formal micro savings and insurance products. Now, if you look at it from a literacy point of view, our data tells us that we have a population of about 52 Namibians that are financially literate. And when you look at financial inclusion holistically, you want to ensure that those who have access are participating and benefiting from the financial system responsibly. So you want to ensure that while you provide access, you are providing literacy and education and consumer protection mechanisms. Now, coming back to the challenges, our challenges, given the geographical setup of Namibia, you will notice that somebody who lives in Khomasdal, for example, can easily walk to a bank branch or an ATM and access, you know, financial services. However, if you look at somebody in Aminas, they have to take transport to get to the nearest ATM or bank branch. And here we are looking at issues of inequalities. We are looking at limited infrastructure for our financial service providers to really be able to offer services, but we're also looking at high costs. And then we're also looking at issues of literacy. We see our consumers are still falling prey to digital fraud. They are still falling prey to scams, but they're also still participating in informal, illegal financial investment, you know. So we are looking at it from, our challenges can be categorized from access to limited infrastructure, but also from a literacy issue and also from a consumer protection angle. So those are the three challenges.
What then does role can public-private partnership play in expanding access to digital payments and saving tools for informal workers?
What we have seen, and the role of private and public sector partnership is very important. Why do I say this? The public sector, if you look at your ministries of finance, if you look at your regulators, they are responsible for creating an enabling environment, right? They are responsible for creating the policies, the strategies through which the private sector can then plug in to offer those services. None of these opportunities can exist without the other. If we have a very active public sector that comes up with products, services, we don't have the mechanisms as a public sector to implement and develop these products ourselves. We need to rely on, you know, your private sector. You need your fintechs, you need your mobile networks, you need your commercial banks to be able to extend these services. So public-private collaboration partnerships are key. And these are things that we've seen in other countries. We've seen, governments coming in to offer incentives. But we've also seen very closely in Namibia the role that the central bank has taken on under the leadership of the Ministry of Finance. We have championed the development of the financial sector strategy. And how we address issues of financial inclusion, we tackle financial inclusion as a pillar within the financial sector strategy. And when we develop this strategy, we co-created together with our policymakers, we co-created with our industry in terms of financial service providers, but we also include the voices of our consumers, who at the end of the day are the users of these financial services and products. So this is another element to the PP model, where we now add the role of consumers in really championing, the delivery and the design of tailor-made, unique products that cater to their needs.
Cecilia, we just mentioned the importance of this forum, but I just want you to expand more on it, on why does it matter for Namibia, and what are the broader implications for Africa?
Right. So this forum is AFI's flagship event, and you attract typically about 80 central banks from your international community. You have about 800 international guests, and paired up with our local stakeholders, that will come down to 1,000, 1,200 delegates. And it has immense potential for two reasons. One, tourism boosts. Namibia's tourism boost stands at a very critical juncture in terms of bringing in, positioning Namibia as your #1 destination to travel to. And then secondly, an opportunity for us as Namibians to showcase the journey that we have taken in our financial inclusion, but also highlighting and raising an awareness around the challenges that we have faced, and then having an opportunity to learn from the global community, right? So the immense potential and the immense opportunity that this event brings to Namibia cannot be understated. On top of that, we don't only have the responsibility to represent Namibia and place Namibia at a global stage. This is the first time that an event like this is being hosted in the southern part of Africa. So Namibia has this heavy weight, to represent Namibia as an African country, but also to represent the southern part of Africa as, countries that have made strides and are making an effort to create and close the gaps within their financial systems.
And by the end of the day, what do you hope that this event will achieve?
Right. So we want to create a platform for our local stakeholders, first of all, to policy shop, right? To product shop from the global community. They will have an opportunity to participate in panel discussions, but also learn from other countries that have made significant strides in coming up with unique micro savings products, micro insurance products, And then we also have an opportunity for our policymakers, really raising that awareness and coming together in one room and attempting to solve our financial inclusion problems. But then this initiative will not have been possible without, the participation of our local stakeholders, our ministries, our private sector institutions, the likes of the commercial banks, the non-banking insurance companies. We've seen a huge response, a positive response from our local stakeholders, and everyone is jumping onto this ship to say we want to help Namibia, we want to position Namibia as a leader in financial inclusion, but also we want to showcase the very best that we have been doing in the space of financial inclusion.
I'm sure after you shared the information, everybody wants to know, can we all attend, and just maybe the dates, when will it be, and also just the time and so forth, if you can give out that information.
Right. So the event is going to be held in Swakopmund, for obvious reasons, in terms of tourism potential and really showcasing Namibia's best. However, the event in itself is a closed event. So participation is by invite only, and we have extended, an opportunity to our local stakeholders to come on board to partner with the bank in hosting this event. But we've also created a segment for our consumers, and we will have exhibitions, our local MSMEs will have an opportunity to, offer some exhibition stalls, and then the consumer segment. But the viewers and interested participants would have to reach out to the Bank of Namibia and find out how we can onboard you as a partner and have you participate in this event.
Indeed. Sesilia, any final remarks that you might have?
Well, yes, definitely. So over the years, we've looked at financial inclusion from an access point of view, right? And anybody that you meet in the street, if you ask them about financial inclusion, they are most likely to tell you that it's about having a bank account, it's about being able to make an instant payment. But financial inclusion is about dignity. You know, at the end of the day, it's about closing the gaps within our communities, inequality, making sure that every Namibian has an opportunity to benefit, but also to participate meaningfully within the formal financial system.
All right. Thank you so much for being on Daily Roundup and telling us about this important forum.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That was Sesilia Nekwaya Okafo. She is the principal economist